Hotep Jesus. We back. Producer spoke to one of the homies, and now producing shows from our channel. They requested for me to do this subject matter, the Uvalde school shooting. I hope that's how you say it. So here we are talking about it. Before we get into it, let's pay the bills. Shout out to Syscoin. Syscoin is cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. They're in the fintech space. To succinctly describe their project, can be easily described as Bitcoin and Ethereum mashup of sorts. It's got the security of Bitcoin, the flexibility of Ethereum. If Bitcoin and Ethereum had a baby, it'd be Syscoin potentially. So make sure you go check out the Syscoin project, especially if you're the developer, blockchain developer. Really, really cool ideas they have over there. From a very high level point of view of mass transactions. Very interesting project. We'll have one of their guys on again next month to dive into some of that subject matter. HotepNation.com. Early bird prices end soon. Make sure you go get your tickets to Hotep Nation Conference ASAP. Go get your tickets. I mean, just an amazing package we put together. For $9.99, you get a hotel, 3-night stay, some of the best food you will ever have. Celebrity Chef Mark is going to be there whipping things up, and tastes I never thought existed, I experienced. So the food was just absolutely amazing. Reaction PR said he's going to be there. I got a couple of ticket sales this morning. One of them was a podcast, got a ticket. P-Dog Night. So yeah, I'm looking to have a great crowd and enjoy meeting everybody, talking to everybody, exchanging ideas, having dinner, having good fun, laughs. So yeah, HotepNation.com, go get your tickets. Canon Hotep will probably do an exhibition, and you guys can go with him to the shooting range. I may or may not partake. Last year I did not partake. I think I went to sleep. I don't know what I did. Or we were shooting. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was asleep. But they went. Maybe I'll partake this year. I don't know. But at least shoot guns with Canon Hotep. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, Canon Hotep. Uncle Hotep's going to be there, obviously. We're going to shoot Hotep's Been Told You live in front of a studio audience. I'm working on guests now, special guests. If you guys want somebody to be a special guest, let me know. Let's try to put together some guests. So yeah, HotepNation.com. Go get your tickets. Early bird prices end soon. So pretty much it includes food and your hotel stay. The only thing I do is get there. Once you get there, you're pretty much covered. I mean, if you want to, buy drinks in the bar or something like that, that's on you. 21 and up at the bar, obviously. But yeah, let's meet, exchange ideas, meld minds, and come together. So now the bills have been paid. Let's talk about the subject matter today. What is this thing called? Uvalde shooting? School shooting? I'm going to pull up, I guess here, what they would call a story or an article on this incident. Let's take a look at this thing here. And you'll see it on your screen in just a moment. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go with NPR as a source. Let's go with NPR as a source. You'll see that in your screen now. What we know so far about the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. So I know this number has been going up. It was like 14 first or something like that, then 18, 19, and now it's 21. according to the NPR. Was this 9 hours ago, something like that? Okay, 5 a.m. Right. 21 people were killed in the attack by a lone gunman at an elementary school in a small town of Uvalde, Texas. At least 19 students and 2 adults were among the casualties. The gunman was killed by police, according to local law enforcement officials. The attack at 2 days before summer break. Students 2 through 4th grade, I'm assuming, 600 students in attendance. Uvalde is a small community, around 16,000 people, most of who are Hispanic. According to U.S. Census data, the town sits about 85 miles west of San Antonio. 18-year-old. So the shooter was from Uvalde, 18-year-old, which had its graduation set coming this Friday. Says he acted alone. Shooter could have bought at least 2 rifles shortly after his 18th birthday. He had no problem accessing those weapons. Said during a press conference that it's believed that the shooter abandoned his vehicle, entered into school with a weapon. He added that the suspect also allegedly shot his grandmother before going to Robb Elementary. Border Patrol agent shot the school gunman. Local officers asked for backup after engaging the gunman. A Border Patrol tactical unit responded to the scene. So, is there any police body cam? Isn't that like the thing that people do now? Don't they have like police cams or some shit like that? Isn't that something like people do? Tell me if I'm wrong here. So let's see. Let's see if this thing exists. I'm sure it doesn't, because I probably would have seen it already. Well, let's just double check. Uvalde shooting, police body cam. Let's see. So it says the Uvalde shooter wore body armor, fired at police on the scene. So I'm not seeing any body cams as of yet. Chat, help me out. Any body cams happening? Any body cams happening? All right, let's go back. Oops, sorry. That's the terms and conditions page for Hotep Nation weekend. It's not what you were supposed to see. You're supposed to see this. Oh, wait. Let's do that again. Let's pull that out. Oh. Oops. Oh my God. All right, let's see if we could do this now. All right. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, here we go. All right. There we go. Uvalde. All right, cool. Texas Tribune. So the Texas Tribune also says 21 killed. 3rd and 4th graders, 85 miles. So pretty much the same information. 19 children, 2 adults. Governor Greg Abbott said the shooter was killed. The shooter is believed to have acted alone. What happened in Uvalde is a horrific tragedy that cannot be tolerated in the state of Texas. President Joe Biden has spoken with Abbott to offer his assistance. Biden also ordered flags on all public property and U.S. embassies to be flown at half staff in memory of those killed. Biden also made a renewed call to reform gun laws. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know that that's going to be brought up. Everybody knows that's going to be a talking point whenever these incidents happen. As a nation, we have to ask, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby? So here, another statement. in regards to firearms. One of the two victims, authorities and hospital officials have said others were injured but have not confirmed how many. Salvador Ramos, an 18-year-old Uvalde resident, is the shooter, allegedly, according to this article. Started 11:30 a.m. Border Patrol agents responded. Shot his grandmother. Grandmother was airlifted. Shooter had bought a rifle online recently. Okay. This is an online purchase. Bought a rifle online. Posted online. Yeah. Biden last week was talking about clamping down on like this internet freedom. Not in those exact words, obviously. But is speaking against it for the most part. He posted images of two rifles in his most recent post on Instagram before the social media platform deleted the account, according to the outlet. Robb Elementary teaches second. The school had campuses on lockdown. Uvalde is the second deadliest shooting at elementary middle on record, following Sandy Hook. The massacre in Uvalde is eighth mass shooting in Texas public space since an Army psychiatrist opened fire at Fort Hood. This was in 2009. 5 years later, another Fort Hood soldier killed 3 people and wounded a dozen more before he killed himself during a firefight with military police. Since then, the pace of mass shootings has increased, along with the list of the dead. July 16th, 5 police officers. 2017, 26-year-old man opened fire. Services Baptist Church, killing 26 people and wounding 20 others. The gunman fled the area when a local man began shooting at him, then fatally shot himself after a vehicle pursuit. 6 months later, 17-year-old shot 8 students and 2 teachers to death. August 2019. Posted a racist manifesto, began shooting at a Walmart. He killed 23 people and injured 25 before leaving the store and surrendering to Texas Rangers nearby. Whoa. Later that month, 36-year-old man went on a shooting rampage in Midland, Odessa area, leaving 7 people dead and 25 wounded. Whoa. So over the past decade, state lawmakers have responded to mass shootings in Texas and elsewhere with a host of laws that have prioritized Second Amendment rights and increased Texans' ability to carry firearms in places where they were previously prohibited. It's a good idea, I believe. The 2012 mass shooting at Sandy Hook spurred a new Texas law the following year that created a school marshal program allowing certain employees to have firearms in Texas schools. 4 years later, lawmakers allowed Texans to openly carry firearms rather than having to conceal them and required public universities to let anyone with a proper license carry concealed dorms. Okay. Frankie Miranda, the CEO of Hispanic Federation, called for concrete steps to make Latino communities safer. Lifting up a prayer. Told reporters Abbott, along with former president, is scheduled to talk Friday. National Rifle Association, Beto O'Rourke, challenging Abbott, general election. So I guess they're throwing election debacle in here, calling the governor Leonard to withdraw from the meeting. Governor Abbott, if you have any decency, you immediately withdraw from this weekend's NRA convention and urge them to hold it anywhere but Texas, O'Rourke tweeted. Politico reported that a spokesperson for John Cornyn, U.S. Senator, said he wouldn't attend the meeting, citing an unexpected change in his schedule that occurred before the Uvalde shooting. Okay. It's a good little cover up. All right, so we know what they're saying. And before I get to my premise, I want to just take a gander here at the so Beto. Okay, so Beto has hijacked the conversation. He's trending #1 right now. Let's see here, Uvalde. So Steve Kerr, I know he made his statement. He was crying and whatnot. I didn't actually listen to that. LeBron James has made his statement. I'll gladly stand in front of any my life, politics. Here's Michael Malice. He says, has the school shooting in Uvalde changed your opinion on gun rights in America? I am more in favor of gun control measures than before. I am less in favor of gun control measures than before. My position is unchanged. I'm going to go with 3. Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's a sensible, it's just like, I guess we can come back and talk about this in a few. What else do we got here? Glenn Beck. What is Glenn Beck saying? The same reason we are about to lose our nation is the same reason for the Uvalde massacre. What? Don't make today about gun politics, Democrat or Republican. Our society is sick and falling apart. Focus on healing that instead. Okay. Let's see what Jamil Hill said. Sorry, I just don't have any expectation that what happened in Uvalde would be the rock bottom that inspires more courageous response to gun violence. The pandemic pretty much proved living with a certain amount of preventable death in the name of freedom is our brand. What? How did she just throw the pandemic and gun violence all in the same? Damn, you gotta watch these journalists, man. These journalists are good. She just threw 2 things that had nothing to do with each other, smack together. What? The pandemic pretty much proved living with a certain amount of preventable death in the name of freedom. Damn, she threw. Is that a vacation insert? Did she just insert the vacation politics in here? Wow, amazing. Our vice president, our hearts for the people of Uvalde. Enough is enough. As a nation, we must have the courage to stand up to the gun lobby and fight for sensible gun safety laws to ensure nothing like this happens again. Uvalde is a good reminder. The U.S. decided after Sandy Hook that children. All right, so this is the stuff I don't like. It's when it's really sensationalized. You could have just kept this to yourself, right? This is selfish, I believe. Uvalde is a good reminder that U.S. decided after Sandy Hook. Why are you even bringing this up? That children getting at school is part of living in America. What? We're going to do absolutely nothing to stop it. What? What are you talking about? What? Bro, relax. And as a Easter egg, I wore my Uncle Hotep Grifton season hoodie today for today's stream. You see the Grifton season. You see the money hand over hand. It's Grifton season. So I wore the hoodie inspired by tweets like this. Directly inspired by this. This happens, and then everybody's got to come and they got to grift off of it, right? It's relax, bro, relax. Add some goodness to the conversation is what I ask. If you're gonna talk about it, add some goodness to this. Add some healing to the conversation. Let's not take the lives of children and then, monopolize it. Yes, one, but also, use it for selfish gain. People die. Relax, have some respect for the dead and spread some healing in the world. You want to take the lives of children and turn it into an opportunity for chaos, in conflict. Why? Relax, people. There will be plenty of topics to grift off of. The one where children get murdered is not the one. Let's see. Brian Enton. Uvalde shooter's neighbor tells me 18-year-old moved in with his grandparents recently because he did not get along with his mom. Neighbor says the shooter was made fun of by other teens because he has a lisp. Neighbor says he cut himself on the face and had scabs. So this is what the mental illness, he was bullied story. You'll see that that's a common thread. The moment to stop Uvalde was right after what? Oh, Beto, man, what are you talking about, bro? Oh my God, these gun grabbers. When I look at this tweet, this gun grabbing tweet, I just think of Australia. I'm like, oh my God, this guy Beto wants us to be like Australia. They want us to be unarmed, so we can't defend ourselves. And then if you can't defend yourself, what does that mean? It means you have to hire security, or your taxes will pay for security, which means more police presence. Do you see how, like, even Alex Jones has mentioned this? Actually, I can't say he's mentioned it. He's kind of like pushed it hard. It was the police state, right? The coming police state, But again, we were talking about dependency yesterday, and socialism and communism, and how they want people to be dependent on the government. And here you have it. You give up your guns, you have to be dependent upon somebody else for your protection. I'm not cool with that. Texas Governor Abbott, the shooter, posted on Facebook, "I am going to 15 minutes before the shooting." I don't know who this Scott Budman guy is. Tech and business reporter for NBC News. All right, so he's a reporter. Okay. I don't know why we needed that piece of information. I guess I don't know why we need that piece of information. What else is going on here? My bad, I'm just checking in the chat. So this guy says school shootings are not normal. Over and over again, repeatedly. Uvalde etc. I'm not going to get into how grifty this tweet is, but this is a very grifty tweet. It's a good way to take up a lot of visual real estate in your timeline. Michael Aiken is probably no fool to making viral tweets. Do not let them become normal. I mean, they are not becoming normal. We need to stop saying like this stuff happened. Like, even when we looked at the previous article from the NPR, you look at the dates and it's like one this year, one next year, one, and it's just like, yeah, well, when you have a society that has guns, shit might pop off. That's just how it is. However, the last thing you want to do is have two gangster groups. One I would say is the political class. They would have a monopoly on weapons, and the other one would be the underworld, or the underbelly, or the black market. The criminals of the underworld. They would have a monopoly on guns, and then the middle class and the poor get squeezed out. Because everybody around them, above and below, basically have all of the weapons. School shootings are not acts of nature like hurricanes and tornadoes. They're man-made acts of inaction and of cowardice, of corruption by all lawmakers who refuse to pass laws proven by data to stop preventable senseless shootings like Uvalde. I'd love to see her data. I'm not going to say she's wrong because I don't know what. She's shilling a little thing here. Yeah, I don't know what data she's looking at, but let's see. This guy says, hello from the UK, where gun ownership is tightly controlled. Number of school shootings in the last 20 years equals 0. Children killed by guns in school shootings in the last 20 years equals 0. UK gun deaths per US gun deaths per, that's 73 times higher. Yeah. I wouldn't refute this. However, I would say that you can't compare the UK to the United States of America. Mostly because the UK is like a little piece of shit, and I'm just saying that from this just from pure size, right? You know, and the UK isn't even a country. First of all, it's not a country. So again, playing with data here, but you know, what is the UK like? The size of Connecticut? You know, Texas is bigger than the UK. You could probably fit like 10 UKs in Texas. I don't know what the number is. Don't quote me on this. But come on, like, stop it. So these like unfair apples and oranges comparisons are really weird. But you also have to look at the flip side. Shit, what happens if your ass do get caught with a knife in public or a gun? Yeah, they're gonna probably hit your ass over the head. So you got mass incarceration? I don't know. I haven't looked up the UK stuff. Somebody let me know. But what's the flip side? The flip side of that is the government's got their foot in your ass if you ever try to step out of line. And they probably have very little rights in the UK. Actually, I know someone right now who's using one of my YouTube videos in a court case. Right now. I'm just like, what? I don't know. So yeah, it's very weird. In a court case in the UK. One of my videos is being used in a court case in the UK. For those who know, you know. For those who don't, well, now you know. But yeah, that's how weird, you know, their laws are. And I'm sure that the chat can pontificate and educate me on exactly who or what kind of freedoms or lack of freedoms there are in UK. What else are these people saying in here? All right, I think I've just about exhausted most of this. Yeah, well, I'm not even gonna hit retry or refresh. Oh no, this is her thread. I'm sorry. Is there anything else in here? No. Who is this? Shannon Watts. Who is this Shannon Watts person? Moms on Demand. Oh man, that's like basically Karen's on Demand right there. Grassroots army of every town. What the hell is Moms on Demand? Join our grassroots members demanding reasonable solutions to address our nature's culture of Yep. Karen's on call. Karen's on call right there. I guess that's who Shannon Watts is. Let me see. Let me get a good look at her face so I know who's grabbing our guns. Okay. All right. Shannon Watts, I see. She appears a lot here. Julio Rosas. The man who was on stage telling Beto O'Rourke to leave and saying he is out of line is Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin. Oh wow, what is this, breaking news or something? He said he needs to get his ass out of here. Is that what he said? It's grifting season. It's grifting season. It's grifting season. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I have to do this real fast. What's his current position? What's his current position? Does he have a job? Does Beto O'Rourke have a job? Chat. Press. Tell me yes or no in the chat. Does he have a job? Who does he work for? Says he was in office until January 2019. Is this man unemployed? What is going on with this guy? Chat, please tell me. Who is this homeless man heckling the mayor? So this guy, Beto O'Rourke, has no job. Beto O'Rourke is, and see, that's why I wore the shirt today. That's why I wore Uncle Hotep's shirt today. Because it's grifting season. This is pure grifting. Hold on, let me show it one more time. Grifting season. You see the shirt, grifting season. Hand over fist. You see it right there. Hotep Nation weekend, Hotep Nation conference, family friendly event, August 11th to 13th, Las Vegas, Ahern Hotel. Get your tickets at hotepnation.com right now. HotepCon 2022. Bitter roast grifting. This is grifting. Like, what are you doing there? You don't have a job. The mayor, people are grieving. The mayor is here trying to conduct business. Here comes Beto O'Rourke. Is he running or something? He must be trying to run, right? He must be trying to run for office or something. Is that what's going on with this guy? Is that what's going on? Shout out to people super chat. We're gonna get to the super chats in a moment. Appreciate y'all. Wow. This is grifting season. Let's play the video one more time.
This is totally predictable. Sir, you're out of line. Sir, you're out of line. Sir,
he is out of line. He's out of line.
you're out of line. Please stop.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Please. There's a tragedy happened here. You need to leave. This is not the place to do that.
The police got to escort him out. This unemployed man. They got to escort him out. People have lost their lives. Have had their lives, not lost, have had their lives taken from them. Human beings have had their lives taken from them. And the first thing this guy can think of is, let me go interrupt the town grieving over this matter a day later. Let me go grift off this. Let me go get my points. And now he's trending, right? Number one, mission accomplished. Beto O'Rourke. Right? That's what's happening. Look, show it right here. Beto O'Rourke, number one trending topic. Griff gold. That's griff gold right there. It's griff gold. People know what they doing. That's the thing with these shootings. These shootings become opportunities. What's the old saying? If it bleeds, it leads. But you know, whenever there's calamity or chaos, there's opportunity, especially amongst these politician people. I forget what the quote is. Yeah, so people are blaming the guns. Also, I heard some people saying this individual was amongst the rainbow community, but apparently that has been debunked. Occupy Democrat says a courageous Beto O'Rourke interrupts a press conference held by Republican Governor Greg Abbott and NRA stooges Ted Cruz and John Cornyn in the Uvalde High School auditorium on live TV to demand they finally pass life-saving gun laws to prevent school shootings. You know, when I saw this incident, the first thing that popped up in my mind, of course, obviously, was the gun grabbing thing that one happened, but conversation that would spawn, but also the fact that it was in Texas, right? Texas is the place where you think of, hey, this is where I can go and I can open carry and Gun laws are pro 2A, and this is the place to be. And it's just like, oh, this is an interesting place to choose to. All right, so I might as well get to the premise of my video today, because this is a good time to talk about it. So, is two questions, I guess, that would put you in a quadrant. So let's say this is a political incident quadrant is what we're going to be explaining now. It's political, obviously, because the politicians hop on there and exploit. First question is this in your reality? Is this incident in your reality? If you're watching this stream right now, it's in your reality. If you're creating this stream right now, it's in your reality. Welcome. We're in that side of the quadrant. Okay. Now, the other question you have to ask yourself, is this reality or is this not reality? This is the quadrant. So you're going to have one set group of people who say this is not reality. This is not a part of my reality. You have another group of people who's going to say this is not in my reality, but it is reality. And you can go through the combinations from there, right? I don't have to do them all for you. So I already know if I'm tuning into Uncle Hotep, he's going to be probably in the quadrant of either quadrant of this is not reality, or I'm not going to say he's going to choose that, but he's going to say that is a possibility, right? So that possibility of this is not reality, right? And we can speculate on the various ways that these events can be created or coerced into happening, blah, 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 blah. We all know when events glow, etc., right? And then there's the other part that says this event is reality. What I would assume, which I believe I can safely assume, is that's where the majority of people in America that have heard about this incident would say incident is real. People are grieving. Now, without entering into this political incident quadrant, you have not properly begun to read the room. This is why some people get in trouble with their commentary, blah, 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 blah. But you got to read the room. So as we read the room and we understand that everybody believes that these incidents are real, or the majority of people believe that these incidents are real, we have entered into a sort of social contract with each other, which means that if the majority believes something, then it is probably safe for us to act as if or to believe the same thing. Remember, act as if or believe the same thing. Whatever, however you decide to operate your life, right? So we are going to act as if we believe what the consensus believes, what the majority believes, that this event is real. We're going to act as if that is true. This is a sad event. You don't need to be the most sympathetic, empathetic person to understand how sad it is to know that children have had their lives taken from them today. You don't need that. You don't need that. No. So it's a sad event, right? This event obviously deserves some grieving. And to me, that is the part that is going to reveal an individual's humanity or lack of humanity. The people who decide that, all right, these children lost their lives, I really don't care, what can I get out of this incident, right? because the people believe that this event is real, and then they believe that it is part of their reality. So I am going to take advantage of that. This is how your dark side grifter, your dark grifter, would react to these things. They would be opportunists to the matter. And I think that is due to their lack of humanity. So we can look at, now you have to be careful, because not everyone who is commenting on this event is grifting. There are individuals commenting on this event who care, and I would specifically say not exactly care about the actual event itself. I would say that they care more so of where we go from here. Now that this event has happened and it's real, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here as a people? Where do we go from here as a community, as a family, as a political party, as a nation? Where do we go from here? Where do I go from here as an individual? Like, you might as well just start right there. Where do I go from here as an individual? Which opens up the door for several opportunities. Obviously, one, you have to take a look at what are the legal ramifications that affect you as an individual to own a firearm. So this is a good moment to brush up on those. Shout out to Jose Nino. Jose Nino has a book on this, has a book on gun control laws. Also, a great resource is Andrew Esquire over at Legal Mindset on YouTube. He's a great resource. He can show you some case law for gun rights. Now is a good time to really tighten up on our case law. When you see events like this, just take another look at your notes. I know there's a case happening right now. Ken and Hotep spoke about, things to take a look at. We know what's coming. They want to do some gun grabbing. Take a look at the states that are least likely to fold, and start planning long term for you and your family, etc. How does this affect the local political race? Who are you advocating for in your local political race? Who are you knocking on doors for? Who are you making phone calls for? All these things matter, right? All these things matter. And so the people who are a part of this side who say, okay, fine, I'm going to act as if this is reality and pretend that this is reality. That's what they're going to say, right? They're going to say it's election season. These things happen during election season. Blah, 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 right? And they become politicized, and they become talking points. But the one thing that I thought was missing from the conversation was the distraction from Davos. Like, if we're going to go down the road of saying, okay, I'm going to act as if this event was real, what about Davos? It feels like this event happened right at a time where people were diving into the Davos, and all those people meeting out there in Switzerland, World Economic Forum, world's biggest billionaires, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, everybody's attention got diverted. So, if we were going straight up, 10-4 Kofi take, you know what I'm saying? What's going on at Davos? That's what I want to know. I believe there's some conflict in Pakistan. People haven't been paying attention to, etc., etc. The thing is, when I spoke about individuals and individualism, and shout out to people super chat supporting the channel, Khalid Cooper, etc. I appreciate you. I'm gonna get to y'all in a moment. But damn, I lost my train of thought shouting y'all out. I see y'all in here. I'm gonna get to y'all in a second. Let me gather my thoughts real quick. Hold on. Individual. Yeah. So, as an individual, when this incident happens, you have to understand that the shooter himself acted as an individual. So what they like to do is they like to take the individual and say this individual represents the whole. Cursory maybe, yes, you can say that, if I came from another planet and you showed me this type of human being that would commit an act like this, you can say, here's what human beings are capable of. But these people don't represent the totality of the species. What they do is they represent the fringe of the species, the rare and the anomalies of this species. Here's what this species is capable. So I think as a species, knowing what we are capable of can shed some light on some work we have to do as a people, some work we have to do as a species. If we call ourselves conscious human beings, the reason why we dominate this planet, we run this planet, is because we have a high level of consciousness than all the other organisms. If we can say that, then we can say that we can look at this event and say that we as a people, as a species, have some healing we need to do. Yes, I agree totally. Now, to say that you have to now infringe upon the rights of an individual because of the wrongdoings of an individual, an anomaly of an individual's, and tell me because of this person's actions you taking away my hall pass, you can't do that. That is where you cross the line of freedom. If you ever watched my Joe Rogan interview, the recent one, I said I rewrote the Constitution, and in there I said it succinctly reads, leave me the F alone. That's what my Constitution says. Leave me the F alone. Leave me alone. Doesn't need to have anything more than that. Okay? Doesn't need to have anything more than that. So you can't take this individual, the wrongs of one individual, and punish the rest of us. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. People are going to fight back, and people need to fight back. Now, what about the individuals, again, who believe this event is real and all of it was organic? And they are asking for gun control laws. What exactly are they asking for? What exactly are they asking for? Do they know what they're asking for? Because I don't think they know what they're asking for. It doesn't make sense what they're asking for. You can't control guns. The only gun control you can have is trigger control. The only control you can have over a gun is trigger control. A gun comes down to the individual pulling that trigger. And if you don't have trigger discipline, then you might have some accidental or purposeful firearm discharge. This is what it is. But that's the only gun control you can have, is this finger. The finger that will pull that trigger. Trying to control it at a governmental level will do nothing for you as far as violence is concerned. In fact, I would venture in to say the complete opposite is true. You'd probably get a spike in violence due to so many people now being unarmed. And I think if we take a population of something like Texas, right? And Texas is a very large country. It's a very large nation. The nation of Texas is a very large nation, large population. It's going to be very hard for you to control said population. But if you were to look at the numbers of gun violence across their population, I'm pretty sure it's probably low. They're probably lowest among the nation in gun violence. So let's go by state. This is a guess, right? Like I said, this is just a guess. So I'm going to try and find this now. All right. Lowest gun violence by state. And let's see. I think this, hopefully it'll do it. All right, so gun deaths by state. What is this? Is this a good one? All right, this is 2022. So highest rated is Alaska. Well, I'll be damned. All right, so let's put this on your screen. Let's put this on your screen. You'll see it in just a moment. So the lady says she has stats, and I was just like, all right, well, what are your stats? Here's my stats, worldpopulationreview.com. I don't know, maybe this is a good source, maybe it's a bad source. Criticize me all you want. Don't care. I would actually invite it. So we got a map here of violence, and it's going to see, if it's dark, yeah, well, that's where there's a lot of gun violence. If it's light, it's not a lot of gun violence, right? So let's go here. So it says states with the most gun deaths. So we have here Mississippi. Okay, interesting. New Mexico, Alabama, Wyoming, Alaska, New Mexico. Texas had the highest number of gun deaths. Okay, but we need them per capita, right? Okay, so here's one. It says in deaths per 100. Okay, this is better data. So Massachusetts, New York, fewest gun deaths. Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Hawaii, Rhode Island. Okay. Here are the 10 states with the highest rates of gun death. Okay, so the highest rates are Alaska, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Montana, Missouri, New Mexico, Arkansas, and South Carolina. Interesting. So Hawaii followed by 62. I need the data also. These 5 states also have the lowest gun ownership in the U.S. Massachusetts, New Jersey have the lowest. So they are making a case in saying that lower gun ownership equals lower gun deaths. Or rates of gun deaths, as you can see here, lowest rate. And maybe that's true. Like I said, I just pulled this up, so I'm just trying to look into it and see what this says. But I don't see Texas on here. Like, you would expect a large place like Texas, but Texas doesn't pop up on here. I wanted to see, would Texas pop up? Firearm death rate. So then we also have to take a look at like which one of these, how much of these are murders, and then because you could have accidental discharge, you could have all types of gun related deaths. So we'd have to there's a bunch of different ways we could start looking at this data. Whoops, I'm sorry. Let's go here. Firearm mortality. This is from the CDC. Yeah, pretty much like the same. Alabama, Alaska. What the fuck is going on in Alabama, bro? Alabama, Alaska. I know Alaska is bad. Alaska, I think it has something to do with the sun or lack thereof. Oh, you're not looking at what I'm looking at. I'm sorry. Let me put this on your screen. I'm gonna put this on your screen. But yeah, I'd love to speak to some people who have these numbers and then figure out different ways we can put them together based upon, death versus gun ownership, right? But then you have to get more granular into the data because it's like, was this a licensed individual or an unlicensed individual, right? Or did this person possess this firearm illegally? So this data, you can't even really go off of this data now that I'm thinking about it, because now I need to know who owns them illegally, legally, homicide or not homicide. So yeah, looking at this data pretty much is pointless now that I think about it. You need a better way to look at this. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to get wrong with this conversation. They're going to try and go based upon these things and say, that's the truth. But I think it's more nuanced than just, hey, this state doesn't have guns and that state has guns, and and you just extrapolate. And then you got to start looking at what are the quality of life in these places, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. Homeschool, support Hotep Nation, hotepnation.com. We support the homeschooling community across America. Donate. Appreciate you guys. We have some wonderful things in the future coming for that. We have somebody going out to a meeting this week to meet up with some homeschool people. So I think that is one of the solutions for this problem. If you are afraid of things that could happen in the school system, I know I am, start homeschooling your children. Hotep Nation Conference, HotepCon 2022 tickets are on sale now. Early bird tickets. Go get your tickets. Proves your point with the data it does. That was like proves your point with the data it does. I don't know. So basically, what we've gone over here is basically, like I said, the political incident quadrant, where you are in this, and if you believe that this was a real incident and it was organic, there are no MK Ultra or anything like that going on. Obviously it's a sad event. But where do we go from here? So we talked about where we go from here as an individual. Where do we go from here as a family? Obviously gun safety. You want to teach your family proper gun safety so you don't have accidental discharges and, et cetera. Talk to your family. Tell somebody you love them for no reason, man. Well, there's always a reason to tell somebody you love them, but, no reason is the best reason. Just tell, you want to appreciate people. And it goes a long way. We talk about mental health when it comes in regards to this type of these type of incidents. But again, he need a lot of healing needed across the nation as a species. For example, yesterday we were talking about violence. It's like, what's going on in your life that you feel the need to resort to violence at a United Airlines terminal? Or desk at the airport. What could possibly be going wrong in your life? And I know that nobody's life is perfect. We have downs and ups, but we have to look at the domino effect of events that could lead to things like that, and do better because we could be that trigger in somebody's life. We could be that trigger. We don't even know. We could be the 10th trigger in a trigger of events. You go to the store, you curse somebody out, that person curses somebody out, that person curses somebody out, that person curses somebody out, and then now that person's pulling a gun on his wife. And it's just like, yo, like, you started that. you started that. You're responsible. It's like, nah, I can't say responsible, but in a way, we are responsible. So I told you about this on Joe Rogan, right? And I said we live in an ocean, right? And this is this hydrogen and oxygen ocean, right? Nitrogen ocean, right? And basically what I was saying was that via this pool, we are all interconnected. The waves I create are going to affect the people around me, and then their waves are going to affect people around them, etc., etc. Domino effect. Which is why it's very important for you to be vibrationally I don't want to use the word calibrated. I would say in harmony, harmoniously calibrated with your life path of the day, your journey. You want to be harmonious. Because just like the bad can create trickle of events of bad events, a good thing can be a trickle of events that are good events. This ocean that we live in, our thoughts, our actions all start creating reality around us, start affecting the totality of humanity on this planet. So collectively, we are responsible for everything that we bring about. Collectively. The difference between being responsible collectively here as opposed to on paper. You can be collectively responsible for each other inside, right here in your heart. But what the communists and the Bolsheviks want to do is they want to make it on contract. So that's why they call it like a social contract, because they want to make it official. Like, no, we are binded together. Like, no, don't you write that contract. We are not binded together. I get to pick and choose when and where I feel I'm binded to this this thing we call humanity, right? And how I respond to it. Because what you want to do is you want to lock me into a contract, a non-fluid contract. You see, the contract created by my heart is fluid. I can choose how I choose to respond to these events that happen in my life. Do I want to donate? Do I want to volunteer? Do I want to pray? Do I want to meditate? Do I want to do magic? Whatever it is I want to do. But that is ultimately my choice, how I react to a Uvalde situation. Right? Like Beto O'Rourke, he chose to hijack it, and he did. Right? That's what he chose to do. But we collectively in our heart can choose, but I don't want the contract. Do not put that on paper and say, oh, well, I have to take away your rights because of another individual. No, we can't do that. And I think the reason why they get away with it so much is because nobody wants to do it in here. So they say, because nobody wants to do it in here, we're going to mandate it. Because nobody wants to. And it's true. And this is why it's plausible, because so many people want to look at these events that happen and remove and just completely deny any responsibility of it. No. Collectively, we killed those children. Collectively, humanity has failed children. Collectively, Americans have failed children. Look at this generation, how wonky they are. Collectively, we have failed them. That is something we have to do. Somebody has to be that spark to spark the family that sets the new trend. That's what Hotep Nation wishes to do. Let's set the new trend. This is the new trend. This is how we operate in a society. When people die, we care. We don't pick and choose red and blue. The first thing we do is we care. People have lost their lives. It's the first thing we do. We care. Let's do it. Can we do that first? Can we do that first? Before we jump on the whole, oh, here come the liberals, here come the progressives, here come the Republicans. Let's do that first. Let's put all of the man-made bullshit aside and choose to say, all right. And now that doesn't mean you got to do it online. See, that's the other thing. People think that they have to take how they feel at an event and publish it online. You don't have to do that. No, you don't have to do that. You won't find any tweets from me about Uvalde. The only one you will find will be for this stream. You don't have to talk about it. You can do everything right here. You can talk to God right here. Right wherever you are, you could talk to God. No matter where you are, you could talk to God. And you could talk to God about healing for the people of Uvalde, for the children and the lives lost in Uvalde, and the people who have lost their lives in the past, and the people who will lose their lives in the future. You could do that all right here. Don't need to go online. A lot of times when I see people do it online, I'm questioning, is it genuine or is it fake? Is it genuine or is it, I'm just doing this because this is the right thing to do? Because that's a form of fakeness too. Like, I'm just doing this because I think I should be doing this because this is sad and, oh my God, I have to say something. It's a form of fakeness. It's not malicious. It's not malicious fakeness. It's more like peer pressure fakeness. It's not malicious. And I don't like that either. I think you need to be brave and deal with death. I don't deal with death well. So when death happens, I usually greet death with a moment of silence. That's why you usually won't see me tweet about these events. That's how I deal with it. And I think when we talk about this ocean that we live in, do you understand that if everybody did the work here, it'll make mad more difference than your tweet? If you took 1 million people and they sent their most highest aspirations to humanity, and you took 10,000 people who did the same with tweets, you would get more out of the people who really meant it and did it in silence. at a vibrational level than 10,000 people faking the funk and just tweeting it. If you faking the funk and just tweeting it, you give me 10 million people doing that, and you give me 10 million people that's just meditating and praying on hope and love for the world and talking to God. The 10 million people talking to God are going to be more powerful than the 10 million fake people out here tweeting. That's what I believe, based upon this ocean that we live in, this interconnectedness we have. We got to spread love. We got to spread love. And that in turn, when we talk about mental health, that's all you need to do. If you'd like to go beyond that, and sure, but the minimum you need to do to contribute to positive mental health for humanity is to be a good damn person your damn self. Be a good person. Go outside and be the best version of you. That's what the best thing you can do for mental health around the world. Don't practice bad habits. Bad habits become taught habits and become reinforced habits. Don't do that. Don't do that. You get me? I'm gonna get the super chats in a second. But that's what I believe. I believe in the spiritual power over the fake power. Hotep Nation Conference, hotepnation.com. Go get your tickets. I'm gonna read the super chats. Hotep Conference, August 11th to 13th. We are out in Las Vegas at Ahern Hotel. Come hang with us, man. Have dinner, eat. We got some good meals. Okay, Liz BC, thank you. Says special guest Michael Mouse. Love you, Hoteps. I reached out to Michael Mouse. Unfortunately, he would not be able to make it to the Hotep Conference. Oh, good. Maybe we'll get him out next year. Catch a can. There's so many distractions in the U.S. that people fail to focus on what's fulfilling, creating weak, broken people. If this was organic, that's why. Yeah. That's kind of like what I was just talking about. Just being your the highest version of yourself will create strong people. People start seeing how you operate in this world. They'll admire it. And when they admire it, they'll want to mimic it. They'll want to copy it, and they'll want to be better because they saw you being better and they saw you being comfortable being better. And they're like, okay, it's okay to be like this. David Zientara, every time someone says there must be gun control, my reply is, let's start with the police. I like that one. Jabari Judah, he said, just checked in. These rituals are just energy harvests for these evil MFs. Plus, they got to take away our guns before food shortages, more vacation effects, and water wars start. Jabari Judah. Hotep. He said more like Beto O'Rourke. Am I right? Beto O'Rourke. Right? Oh, man. Brian Redacted, he said maybe the fact that our government murders by millions plays into the fact that we have so many psychopaths. Yo, this is what I'm saying. This is that part of that karmic ocean that we live in, this social ocean that we live in. When you put out that type of energy, what do you think it reverberates around the world? Absolutely. Bitcoin Hotep said schools are soft targets because they are gun-free zones. Beto is running for governor of Texas again. Is that what he's doing? So yeah, so that's what I figured. Like, if the dude's not running for office, do you think he shows up at that? Type it in the chat and tell me if you think. Type no in the chat if you think Beto O'Rourke, if he was not running for office, he would show up at that meeting, interrupting the meeting, hijacking a press conference down there in Texas. Please tell me. Or yes, if you think he would do it, even if he wasn't running. Reaction PR, he said the reality people don't want to see has a pesky way of sneaking into people's lives and hijacking their former reality. Okay, now we got to break that down. Reaction PR, because when we talked about the political incident quadrant earlier, we talked about what's in your reality, what's not in your reality, what is reality and what is not reality, right? These are the four corners. And it says here, the reality people don't want to see has a pesky way of sneaking into people's lives and hijacking their form of reality. Now, that could be interpreted as a red pill, right? A lot of people before the pandemic didn't believe some of the conspiracy theories that was floating around. But afterwards, they were like, hold up, I got some questions. Something doesn't seem right. So their idea of reality has been hijacked, as Reaction PR has stated. But then you can look at the flip side and just say that some people's reality has been hijacked. And I would say that's because of the mass stream media and their massive influence over people's lives through the power of their dollar and power and their ability to be kingmakers. Like you cannot underestimate the power to make someone a king, or at least feel like a king. The media can make anybody the man or the woman. They have that power to be kingmakers, and that's a power that people have to. When you see the people on the mainstream media and you see their faces often, you should ask yourself, why is this person always on the news? I would say majority of the time because they're safe. I'm not going to, say somebody's doing anything maliciously, but I would say the powers that be deem this person safe. And they're saying, well, if you play according to our rules of safety, you too can earn yourself a media spot. There's lines that you cannot cross. And then there, most people, it's unwritten, but people know what they are. Cameron Erlin said, craziest anti-gun grift take has to be your AR-15 can't stop a tyrannical government take. The U.S. just lost over 20-year war to camel jockeys wielding AKs. Elite C2A people like a bigger Taliban use the chaos to disarm. Well, here's the problem with that, right? And this is a problem that I've expressed in the past. You see, the tyrannical government takeover, hypothetically speaking, actually won't do that well. It'll do all right in the very beginning, but after a while, soldiers are going to start to defect, and they're going to take up the people's side, and you're going to have moles and people working double agents and all types of weird stuff. And so it's like, why would I want to, go to war with these people when I can actually just control them? It kind of makes more sense. It's like, why would I want to assault a group of people that I can technically control and profit off of and basically treat like my property? So it's like, why fight at people when you can own them? And so when they say that, the tyrannical government, the AR-15 isn't exactly to stop a tyrannical government. What it is it's an expression of freedom. It's the ability to defend yourself against a foreign power, whether it be domestic or foreign. It can't stop a tyrannical government, but it can make them think twice. And that's really what it comes. That's really what the stop is. The fact that they have to think twice. That's what's stopping the government. The fact that you have an armed public and they're going to say, do we really want to be the type of people who go around murdering millions of our own civilians? Because they know at some point the people will take up arms and they will fight back, and it's going to be blood in the street. And I don't believe the people in power want that type of situation. I don't think they want to just, Ludlow massacre again, right? Especially now with cell phones and all this type of stuff. So I don't think, that's what's now. If the AR didn't exist, then you definitely don't have any buffer. The tyrannical government has taken over at that point because you don't have any freedom of guns. So you've already been taken over. But the thing that's stopping the tyrannical takeover, or people would allude to taking over the latter tyrannical takeover, is just freedom. Period. Like what freedom is, right? But as you know, if you read my book, The Patriot Report, Unmasking Conspiracy of Money and War, then you know that if the money ain't free, the people ain't free, and the money hasn't been free for a really long time. So before we talk about two-way, we need to talk about that Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, and other various parts, like the 16th Amendment, et cetera, et cetera. That's the conversation that really needs to be had before we talk about the AR-15 and the tyrannical government takeover, because that's, the tyrannical government takeover is not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is somebody from the outside, my neighborhood, trying to take over my home, home invasion, et cetera, right? That's why we possess firearms, because if you come through the door, I can defend my family. That's really what it's about, especially when you're done with local government as well. At least you can somewhat defend yourself and create a militia, et cetera, and we see that out in Arizona with those way those dudes train those independent militias, which are really awesome. You guys should take a look at those. AR-15 is also a very small bullet, I believe. I believe most of them fire 22s. Obviously, you can modify and alter them. Go talk to Canon Hotep. He's the authority on that. Notorious Bear said, Hotep, do you like to go shooting? Not particularly. I don't. I think about things I can do with my time. Shooting is not up there as something that's fun. Also, I'm jaded because, I've been shooting firearms since I was a kid. So, I had a BB gun. I was shooting, squirrels and birds and stuff like that in the backyard. And I went to the firing range when I was a kid. So, doing it now as an adult is kind of not something that I'm just, if we want to go and I'm there, I'm going to have fun. Yeah, I think being at the range is fun. Getting me there is probably the problem because I'm, I just rather be doing something else with my time. But once you're there, it's kind of addicted, you're kind of addicted. I need another mag. I can do better, put another target up there, just have fun. Anything that's a challenge or competitive is going to be fun for a man. You think they're going to come after age restrictions? Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. But yeah, so with the coming war, I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna replace the military with robots. And once they had a robot army, I know y'all seen the robots, the four-legged robotics, law enforcement robotics. I know you guys saw it. I'm not gonna pull it up on the screen. We all saw it. Straight out of Black Mirror. So it's not the tyrannical government you need to worry about yet. But once they got that robot army, that's your ass. Now you might want to wish you had an AR-15 because it's gonna get real ugly then. You better be able to aim that thing real good because them robots don't miss. Those robots do not miss. You heard? Uncle Hotep streaming? All right, let me get out of here, man. Uncle Hotep about to stream. Go. Let's head over to. I'm pull up on the screen. I'm gonna pull up Uncle Hotep on the screen. We can go over there, and I'm gonna give y'all a call to action. Type Hotep Con. Go to Uncle Hotep's stream. Type Hotep Con in the chat. Type Hotep Con in the chat. Go over to Uncle Hotep's channel right now. He's streaming live right now. Type Hotep Con in the chat when you get there. Hotep Con. Boom. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time. Love y'all. Hotep and Bill.